I had a member in the war club a couple weeks ago ask me, "Hey Dre, how did you get to the point of where you're at now in your life? How did you become an entrepreneur? How did you get to this place where you could work for yourself?" And as I took the next 10 to 15 minutes kind of explaining everything and diving deep into my life story and how I was brought up and everything that I did, all the experiences that accumulated to, the result where I'm at now in my life. After I thought about it, I realized that at the end of everything, really what it was just me trying stuff, throwing stuff at the wall and just kind of seeing what sticks, right? Anytime God presented me with an opportunity, I went all in. Even down to the small little things. I remember in sixth grade, even like with my fashion sense, with my clothing, with my hairstyle too. I remember there was, for instance, one time, and this is a good point because not everything that I did in life was a success, right? But those losses or whatever you want to call them, it eventually just funneled me into another experience. It bled into other areas of my life as far as trying new things, having that mindset of going all in, right? So for instance, in sixth grade, I remember there was this time where I remember I wanted to try something new. I wanted to be kind of different. So while everybody was spiking up their hair, right, and like doing little mohawks and stuff, I thought, oh dude, let's be polarizing. Let's do something opposite. And so I remember right before school that day, I got my, I think it was called ice gel. It was like this gel that had like 10 out of 10 holding power and made your hair as hard as a rock. And I remember I put it in my hair, but instead of doing my typical like kind of spiky hairdo on top, I decided to slick down the top and then just spike the sides up like this. So I had the sides fully spiked and the top flat. Oh, and that day was just a rough one. That was, I got roasted, bro, to say the least. And, but hey, at least I went for it. At least I went all in, right? And there's this whole topic online right now about this whole theme that's trending right now about this is your sign to go all in. And I kind of want to just give my 2 cents on it, on the matter. So, I feel like this is the problem. I feel like too many men are always out there looking for a sign, right? I have a lot of guys come to me and say, "Hey, Dre, I'm going through this, and that in my life. And do you think it's a sign? Do you think this is God telling me that this is the route I need to go?" And I feel like too many men are waiting for the next sign, the next indicator, the next. I say, heck with the signs. What you need is not more signs. What you need is to dive all in into whatever it is that you are feeling pulled towards, right? And that's a difference. There's a huge difference between being, desires being pushed onto you versus actually being called to something, actually being pulled, right? There's a difference between pushing and pulling. It's like the story of the woman who had been bleeding for over a decade, right, in the Bible. When Jesus came, when he was in the crowd, she was trying to get through the crowd, trying to get to him because she knew that if anybody could heal her, it could be him, right? She had been going to doctors for years and years and years, and nobody was able to heal her. They're actually making it worse. And so she got just close enough to him to where she could reach out through the crowd. And what did she do? She grabbed his cloak and pulled. And in that instant, it says that she was healed. Right? So, and the thing about that story is right when Jesus' cloak was touched, he goes, "Who touched me?" And Simon Peter says, "Hey, Jesus, everybody's touching you. Everybody's pushing themselves upon you, right?" And he says, No. He says, "Someone touched my cloak, and I know this because that power came out of me. It came from me." He felt that power come out of him and heal somebody. And as he looked around, he saw the woman there. And he says, "You're healed." See, it wasn't the pushing of the crowd that got his attention. It was the pulling from the woman. And that same aspect can be applied to your life. What are you feeling pulled towards? What are you feeling called to do? And we talked about this earlier today on the war call. Our boy Scott brought up a good point, and he was just talking about how he's not sure, these desires that he has for a relationship, for the type of woman that he desires, right? He's not sure if some of these desires are just influenced from, or just imposed on him from the red pill, right? Because a lot of the times these red pill influencers, they can impose a lot of their desires onto you to where you think, oh, this is what I want, but in actuality, that's not really what you want. That's not going to fulfill you. It might satisfy you, but it's not going to fulfill you, and there's a big difference between the two. Satisfaction happens just for a split moment, for a moment in time. Fulfillment is something that comes from within that lasts, and that's everlasting, right? And so a lot of the times, when you're the type of man who's always looking for the next sign, the only problem with that is that it causes you to always have one foot in and one foot out. You get what I'm saying? And God, how can God use a man who's not fully in it, who's not fully committed? He can't use that man. He needs men, he needs soldiers who are ready to go all in. And you have all this advice online that, how do you eat an elephant? Oh, one bite at a time, right? Or take it one step at a time, which, okay, it's fine advice. I get it. But if you're going to take it one step at a time, make sure that each step, make it a bold one. Don't dibble dabble. Don't dip your little toe in, kind of feel around. No, you're either in or you're out. You got to immerse yourself into that deep end, bro. Can't go east and west at the same time. You got to choose your route. Choose this day whom you will serve. I feel like it's such a cop-out when people say, just ease into it. Just feel it out. Take it one little step at a time. See how things go. No. I feel like that's such a cop-out to not do the very thing that God is putting in front of you. The very thing that God is calling you to do. And I told this to my guys on the war call the other day too. I said, hey, if you take that bold step and the results don't turn out the way you had hoped, if you failed, if you took a L, then hey, you took a L. If you failed, you fail. If you ask that girl out and you get rejected, you get rejected. If you invest your money and you lose it, you lose it. Oh well, whoop-de-doo, bro. If you lose, you lose. So what? Our boy Connor said, hey, being a man is not about being perfect. It's about being a man. And I feel like us men, we get, because of all the influences, because of what we see with the red pill culture, what we see on social media, what we see in the Hollywood movies, everybody, especially men, we're so focused on perfectionism. I got to be like that guy. I got to be like this. I got to be like that. I got to have this. I got to have that. Stop worrying about being perfect, bro. Just be a man. Take a bold step. And if you fall short, you fall short. You're not going to die. You just get back up. You press forward. And you try to not make the same mistake twice. They say that knowledge comes from learning, but wisdom comes from living. And I would even go as far as to say that wisdom comes from losing. Losing definitely plays a part in a man's life. Right? And too many of us men, we're so afraid of losing. Oh my gosh, what if I lose? So what if you lose? That's where true knowledge, that's where true wisdom is attained. You gotta take the L's, bro. The L's are what? And I don't even look at it as L's. I look at it as, right, you got fruit days where that are, really progressive and that look great to the world and it looks like you're winning. I call those fruit days because they bear a lot of fruit. But the L's, those days that aren't so great, those are root days. Why? Root days? Because your roots, they dig deeper into the ground. And so many men these days, they don't put themselves out there. They don't take bold steps because they're afraid of those root days. And that's why most men these days, they don't have those roots. They don't have that depth, that soul. They're so surfacey, so superficial. That's not the type of man you want to be. You want to be the man with roots, but the only way to get those roots is by taking those L's, right? By gaining that true wisdom. Yoda said in episode 8, the worst Star Wars movie, but this was a good part. He said failure is the greatest teacher. Something like that. I'm probably butchering it, but that was money. And hey, look, at the end of the day, if you take that leap forward, if you go all in and it doesn't turn out the way you had hoped, hey, at least your balls got heavier. That's a big plus. And so I feel like I'm at a season right now in my life especially, and I'll kind of wrap it up with this, but you got to surrender, bro. You got to surrender. You can't hold on to, oh my gosh, I don't want to lose. The more you do that, the more you just are going to lose. You got to let go. You got to go balls deep. You got to go all in. And men aren't used to this because we're so used to the red pill telling us, oh, you need to conquer, bro. Conquer. That's what you got to do. No. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says to surrender. Only then will you begin to see those fruit days. And when you surrender the outcomes, when you surrender trying to have control over the results, which you never have control of, the only thing you have control over is your perspective and your willingness to persevere. When you focus on those two things and give the results to God, let Him take care of those things, this is how you actually get more clear direction in your life, right? You get more to the point, especially like with a woman, right? So many of us are afraid of like, oh, should I ask her out? Should I do this? Is this the right girl for me? Should I take things slow? No. Take the bold step, take the bold moves, take her out, execute, tell her that you want to be her man. And hey, by being bold like that, you get more quicker to your answer. If this is actually your girl or not? If this is actually the girl that God has for you? If she even likes you? How about that one? When you play it the safe way, you don't even really know if she even likes you, bro. And we were talking about that today as well. It's like the most unattractive thing you can do with a woman is to play it safe, to take it slow, right? Those words, you say that to a woman, hey, let's take it slow. That's so unattractive. But you take the bold step, you take the initiative, you take control of things. She's going to be looking up to you. She's going to be thinking you're the man. And if she doesn't, then hey, at least now you got your answer. You're not teeter-tottering back and forth. You're not spending months wondering, does this girl like me? Does she not? Is this a sign? Should I be with her? No. You get straight to the point. If she's not the one, if things don't work out, then hey, things don't work out. Now you can move on. Move on to the next mission. Move on to what God now has for you. The next thing He has for you. So hey, check it out. There's 3 things that all of us men, we need to be focusing on right now in our lives, especially, I'm talking to myself firstly here. Being bold, being brave, and being ballsy. You get those things down, you attack those things, hey, God is going to use you. He's going to give you power. He's going to give you protection. He's going to give you provision for your life. So, hey, what's the next move for you right now? I got 2. You choose which one. You choose your path. Right here, you got the Warriors Realm, which is a free community that you can be a part of right now. I'll link it down below. Or if you want to take it up a notch, if you want to join our inner circle, and you want to talk to me directly and go on weekly calls with me and the boys, you can join Wake Up War Club down below. It's a paid group, but hey, check it out. You're investing into not just yourself, but your future. You're investing into a brotherhood that's going to keep you in check, especially with your relationship with Christ. Because at the end of the day, you can follow all this red pill advice. I mean, I'm not hating on it entirely. There's some good advice you can chew on and spit out the bones with. But a lot of this advice, you got to be so careful, my brother, of this advice that you're getting from these knuckleheads on the internet. If it's not aligned with Christ's will for your life, you're going to be going down a path that God never even had in store for you. And it might seem cool at first. It might seem fun, satisfying. But in the long run, you're going to be so derailed off of your purpose that you're going to lose who you are. And you can gain the whole world but lose your soul, my brother. So, hey, you can go down that path if you want. But what does the Bible say? It says that narrow is the pathway that leads to righteousness. And I'm not saying that, our group is the only way, you know, our war club is the only way that you're going to live a righteous life. I'm not saying that. But hey, if you are feeling called towards it, if you are feeling pulled towards it, I would say, hey, take that bold step, join us, join the tribe, and we will do our very best to keep you in check, to keep you in line with Christ and his will that he has for you. So, hey, with that said, appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace always.